I'm just, you know.
We keep doing it, leave the battery out of the thing.
Didn't Brian say he was going to be here? Yeah, he told me he thought he was going to make it. So. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the August 14th, 10 a.m. Advanced Plans meeting. We will start out with roll call, please.
Committee Member Johnson.
Here.
Committee Member Miles. Committee Member McKay.
Here.
Committee Member Warren.
Here.
Committee Member Nix. Committee Member Fry. And Chair Aldrich.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
That's always good to have. The next item of business is that we have two summary of meetings to approve. We'll take them in two separate motions. One for the July 10th, 2025 summaries or motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The next item would be the July 24 special meeting. Is there a motion to approve those summaries? We have motion and a second. All in favor? Same sign. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the Airport Hazard Zoning Code repeal and adoption. It's recommended that we consider and approval and send it to the full body MAPC.
Good morning, everyone. This is Momita Kundu with the Planning Department, and I'll be presenting the Airport Hazard Zoning Code update to you today. So this case was first brought before the Advanced Plan Committee on the July 10th meeting as a receive and file item, and this is the second time you're seeing this. Today's presentation will review very much along with some additional context and updates. You will also have an opportunity to take an action on this item today. Can I move to the next slide, please? The recommended action for this item is to recommend approval of the proposed update to the City of Wichita-Sedgwick County Airport Hazard Zoning Code to the MAPC. Next slide, please. This is an overview of my presentation today, so I'll go over the background of the update in the current Airport Hazard Zoning Code map and the zoning code itself, the proposed Airport Hazard Zoning Code and the map, the review process up till now, and the recommended action. Next slide, please. Obstructions to the aircraft during landing and takeoff can endanger lives, damage property, and impact the nearby communities. The purpose of the airport hazard zoning is to maintain clear airspace for safe takeoffs, landing, and maneuvers. This airport hazard zoning categorizes areas around airports into zones based on proximity to runways, approach, departure paths, and allowable structure heights. Kansas state statute allows local governments to adopt and enforce airport zoning regulations. Next slide, please. The current Airport Hazard Zoning Code was adopted in 1998, In September 2022, the Federal Aviation Administration issued an advisory circular on airport land use compatibility planning, providing guidance for effective compatibility plans. Following this, City of Wichita hired a consultant to draft the updates to the city and county airport hazard zoning code and map. Next slide, please. The first kickoff meeting for the update took place in November 13th, 2023. On July 10th, 2025, the staff presented the proposed draft of the code to the MAPC Advanced Plan Committee to provide more information on the topic. Next slide, please. So at the July 10th Advanced Plan meeting, there was some confusion between the two types of airport zoning, airport-related zoning, the airport overlay zoning districts, and the airport hazard zoning districts. So this slide is, can I move back to the slide before this? Thank you so much. So hopefully this slide will clarify all the confusion and ensure everyone understands their purposes. I'll start with the airport overlay zone, which is marked with a red cross. That means we are not including this within this presentation today. So it's a separate zoning tool used for land use planning. It is not a part of the airport hazard zoning code or map. It's a part of the Wichita-Sedgwick County Unified Zoning Code and regulates land uses like limiting residential density, controlling noise-sensitive uses near the airport. It focuses on compatibility between airport operations and the surrounding land uses. And the airport hazard zoning district, which is marked by a green check mark, is the topic of discussion today. It's established under the Kansas statute to regulate the structure and vegetation height near the airports and focuses on keeping the airspace clear for safe aircraft operation. This is a part of the Airport Hazard Zoning Code or MAP and is currently under review and update. Can we move to the next slide, please? So I'll be going over the current Airport Hazard Zoning Code and the MAP. It regulates the development around 6 airports in Wichita-Sedgwick County area. Zones A through D are designated beneath the approach, transitional, horizontal, and conical surfaces of each runway. Next slide, please. The boundaries and height limits for Zone A through D are shown on the official airport hazard zoning map, which you can see on your screen. Zone A, which is closest to the airport and is marked with red on the map. The maximum height limit of this zone is 25 feet. Zone D, being the farthest from the airport, is marked in green on the map, and the maximum height limit is 300 feet. Areas in white are outside the hazard zone. No structure or tree may exceed the established height limit in its respective zones. Can I move to the next slide, please? Airport hazard zoning permits are required for any structure, object, or vegetation exceeding the height limits shown on the map. And no permits are required if the structure of the object is outside the specified zones A to D. Next slide, please. Let me move on to the proposed Airport Hazard Zoning Code and MAP. The proposed Wichita-Sedgwick County Airport Hazard Zoning Code and Airport Hazard Zoning MAP will replace the existing code and MAP if adopted. The draft is attached to the packet materials, but I'll go over some of the key highlights of the proposed zoning code and MAP. It expands the definition of definitions aligned with the FAA advisory circular to improve the clarity and ensure consistency with the federal standards. The proposed code and map focuses on the same facilities as the existing code and map, except the Wichita Police Department heliport, because the heliport doesn't exist anymore. Next slide, please. So this is the proposed airport hazard zoning map that covers the entirety of the Sedgwick County, dividing it into 4 zones, A through D, based on the distance from the airport. A being the closest to the airport is marked with red on the map. The maximum height limit is 25 feet. The farthest zone from the airport is green in color, is D. The maximum height limit for the zone D is 200 feet. Next slide, please. The proposed zoning code requires airport hazard zoning permits for any tower, structure, or object that transmits signal, regardless of its height. Airport hazard zoning permits will still be required for any structure, object, natural vegetation that exceeds the height limit outlined in the airport hazard zoning map. Next slide, please. Applicants proposing structure, objects exceeding height limits, or any signal transmitting tower or structure must first use the FAA's notice criteria tool, and then the proposal will be submitted to the zoning administrator for review. Next slide, please. So up till now, so we are here in our review process. This is the second meeting, second advanced plan meeting this item is being presented to, and it's scheduled to be presented today afternoon again at the MAPC. So you'll see me again presenting the similar presentation at the MAPC. This is also scheduled to be heard at the Wichita City Council on September 2nd and Sedgwick County Commissioner on September 10th. And I apologize, the presentation doesn't show the dates because it was prepared before these dates were finalized. So it's September 2nd for the Wichita City Council and September 10th for the BOCC meeting. And with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions? Commissioner McKay?
Last time we talked, I brought up the fact that there's 2 hazard deals for McConnell. And I know she hit on it very lightly. That doesn't mean that, but do we need to specify that in this document, that this is a separate hazard zone than the disciple noise zone for McConnell Air Force Base? That's one question.
Commissioner, I don't think that's necessary. And they are 2 separate items, and I don't think that's necessary.
Well, the only thing about that is the fact that there's no dissemination between which is which, and somebody comes in, doesn't know the difference. I can guarantee you, I know I own a piece of property in the runway at McConnell Air Force Base. We've owned it for 40 years, we can't do anything with it.
If I could, Scott Wade, Old Planning Department, what we could do is simply add another slide, Momita, similar to the one that you've got with the red and green on it. We could just add another slide to indicate that there is that additional protections that are around McConnell, and just indicate that this does not do away with those. It's separate from that.
Okay.
That was taking place prior to this. So it has seniority or whatever you want to call it. I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Use your mic.
Yeah, it was implemented, the McConnell protections. This has been around, I think, longer than those most recent McConnell protections, but those most recent McConnell protections are in place prior to you considering these changes. So, yeah, we can.
And that was just, the one we did on the noise, that was just extension of the existing. It is.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
I will put that in the slide for the MAPC. Do we have any other?
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
In regards to these changes and stuff. What feedback, if any, has been given to Jabara, McConnell, Raytheon, Cessna, the other ones? Are they aware of the changes? Have they given any feedback one way or the other? Where exactly do they stand?
So the airport staff members had been forwarded with the draft code, and they are here in attendance as well. So I do see staff from the airport, Cessna Airport and Beechcraft Airport, as well as City of Wichita. So, and as well as the McConnell Air Force Base.
I would like to hear
Sure.
their comments. whether
Sure.
For or against, or they don't
Just for
care or
record.
whatever.
Sorry. Just for record, we haven't received any comments from them as far as now, but then, yep.
Scott, did you have anything?
I did. Momita, as part of the process, I think you said it as part of the PowerPoint, but just to kind of emphasize a little bit more, what happens if someone has a structure or a tree or something that exceeds the height limit? What do they have to do?
So that will have to go through the FAA's notice criteria tool. They'll have to go through the notice criteria, use that notice criteria tool, and that will be reviewed through that and go to the zoning administrator for further review.
And then how easy is it to access that tool? Is that widely available?
It is, and I'll defer to Corey Lewis, who is the representative of the Kaufman Associates working on this project, for a little bit more detail on the tool, if you may.
Okay. Please come to the podium if you would. State your name and who you're representing.
Good morning. I'm Corey Lewis with Kaufman Associates. And to answer the question about the notice criteria tool.
Who are you representing, sir?
With Kaufman Associates, airport planning firm based in Kansas City. So if someone wants to determine whether or not they need to file a 7460 form with FAA, they can go to the notice criteria tool, which is published by FAA and was recently updated. They can input the coordinates, the proposed coordinates of the building corners or a tower location. The tool has an existing elevation data set built into it, and then the person submitting the inquiry would put the proposed height of that structure and hit submit. And then at that point, it would return whether or not a 7460 would need to be filed. So in a case where a 7460 is needed to be filed, they would submit similar information, and that would actually get reviewed by FAA to determine whether or not it's a hazard to air navigation.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Yes.
Corey, could you explain what the 7460 is, please?
Yes, so this is a process that FAA has established. It's been used for many years. In the past, it has largely been viewed as a review of the height of structures to determine whether or not they penetrate an airspace surface. More recently, there's been more scrutiny of building proposals as to whether or not they interfere with other FAA facilities. So this is facilities that transmit signals and provide air navigation support to pilots.
Can you just to clarify, you're with the firm that helped put this together?
Yes, Kaufman Associates provided support to planning staff on the development of the updated
Okay,
ordinance.
thank you. Any additional questions? If not, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Is there any representatives from any of the airport authorities that would like to make a comment?
Yes, Tom Bales with Textron Aviation.
Yes, sir. Please come to the podium and state your name and who you're representing.
Yes, Todd Bayless with Textron Aviation. I represent the Beechcraft Factory Airport and the Cessna Airfield Airport. And we have reviewed over the proposed changes and implemented. Really, the only one we saw was updating the airport names so that it more reflected there on the zoning map.
Do you have any issues, concerns? Are you good with everything?
Nope. Yeah, what page is that on?
It's in section 28.
Okay.
So 2808. 090, there's still a reference to Raytheon Aircraft Company. So it just needs to be sure that it's scrubbed through to make sure that Raytheon Aircraft Company has been removed.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was even Beechcraft Factory Airport at the time that this was developed in 1998. I'm not sure how it got identified as Raytheon Aircraft Company.
Thank you. We'll take care
Okay,
of
we'll
that.
make sure that those are,
Is that going to be taken off or just changed?
Any reference to Raytheon Aircraft Company should say Beechcraft Factory Airport.
thank you. Jerry, you have anything?
That's it.
I was just going to say that someone who reviewed this must have missed that.
I can't.
I was just going to say that someone who reviewed this must have missed that one.
Okay.
Being me.
Sir, thank you. Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else that would like to come to speak? Please state your name and who you are representing.
Good morning, Kennedy Dunn McConnell. Good to see you all again. Hello, hello. You guys are all becoming very familiar with me now, which is exciting. I didn't catch his name up to the left of you, Mr.
Commissioner McKay.
Commissioner McKay. I know you were talking about the difference between the overlay and the hazard code. I just wanted to say we are redoing our air installation compatible use zone study currently with McConnell. So to help with that distinction, we could include that with the overlay just to kind of provide further, because that'll be done soon. Just a little clarification. But the 25 feet is great. We're happy with that in our surrounding area. Outside of that, we don't really have any questions or comments.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that McConnell is fully on board, doesn't have any concerns, questions
Nope, just
on any of these changes and things that we've been coming up with here lately.
Mhm.
You know, I think it's pretty obvious where I stand when it comes from my support for.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that. And the 25 feet is perfect. It's what we have now, the anti-terrorism. That's perfect for our standards.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comments and your time. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I think the changes that have been made, some are simply housekeeping, so to speak, cleaning things up, getting them more toward the current standard, current date. But I think it's safe to say that the changes that have been made as substantive changes are increasing protections for all the airports.
Yeah, I just want to make sure the dogs and cats don't get sucked up in the vacuum cleaner during the cleanup. So, thank you. Is there anyone else that has any comments or concerns on this? If not, staff have any additional comments?
No, I would like to move to the next slide, please, for the recommended action. So the recommended action, as I said before, is to adopt the proposed updates to the Wichita-Sedgwick County Airport Hazard Zoning Code to the City Council and Board of County Commissioners.
Okay, again, thank you. Well, at that time, I'll bring it back to the commissioners. Is there any comments? If not, is there entertain a motion to accept and approve the recommendations of the Wichita-Sedgwick County Metropolitan Planning Commission?
I'm going to take the recommended action.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed 4-0. Thank you. Thank you, staff, for on this, and thank you for the representatives from the airports for coming.
Bob, this just moves ahead now to MAPC, right?
Yes,
And that's what the motion was.
yes, this afternoon. Can't take it back now. It's locked in. Sorry. Okay. Okay, the next agenda item, item number 4 is the Midtown Neighborhood Plan Update. Justin, you're on, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee members. Justin Constantino with the Planning Department here to provide a brief update on the Midtown Neighborhood Plan. Just a quick refresher. In spring of 2024, the Midtown Neighborhood Association expressed interest in updating their existing 2004 neighborhood plan, adopting new design guidelines to address current challenges and priorities in the neighborhood. In May of 2025, the city of Wichita released a request for proposals for the new Midtown Neighborhood Plan that contains both the plan and an overlay. We are seeking qualified consultants to lead the planning process. The deadline for the RFP was June 27th. We did receive 3 submissions, which was fantastic. On August 12th, so just this week, 2 days ago, a 9-member selection committee consisting of representatives from the Midtown Neighborhood, City Council, the Board of County Commissioners, county staff, and city staff members met to review the 3 proposals. After reviewing the 3 proposals, the general consensus of the selection committee was to interview 2 candidates for the Midtown Neighborhood Plan. The selection committee agreed to reconvene after the Labor Day holiday based on the schedules of the selection committee members, and we will be we're currently in the process of reaching out to those consultants to schedule those interviews. So we hope to have some fresh information for you by our next Advanced Plans Committee meeting in September. That concludes my update, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Justin. Is there any representation from the county commission on, or not, excuse me, the planning commission on the neighborhood plan?
There is, yes. Leon Mader, Commissioner Mader, is a member of the selection committee.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions for Justin?
I assume you can't tell us yet who the 2 are.
Not yet. We're getting there, though. Hopefully it comes a little bit more into focus next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This is receive and file, so we will go on to the MAPD updates. Mr. Waddle, you are up, sir. Good job, Justin.
Okay, well, I will refer to the handout that's in your packet. And the first thing to note is on page 2, so we've got the case counts, non-subdivision items. We're sitting at about 164. We predict that we'll be somewhere around the 260 cases by the end of the year, which will put us as the second highest since we've been counting in the more recent history. So it's been a pretty active year so far. On page 3, you'll see the graphic at the top that's kind of that orange and blue color. The thing that I would point out, and also the table below, is that the agenda for today's meeting is quite large. We've got 17 cases or non-subdivision items that are on there. And so we've got very, spiky trends in terms of we get a lot, we have a few. So, but right now, pretty busy. We do have some additional numbers, and I'll just read those out to you real quick. The August 28th agenda, we have 10 non-subdivision items. And on the September 11th MAPC meeting, we have 11. So what we've seen is that we have this large spike today. It will calm down a little bit, and so hopefully we'll be able to catch a breather with that with staff. Still a steady amount of cases, but not a huge amount. But again, it helps towards that overall case count for the end of the year. On page 4, as we move into the subdivision items, it's been an interesting year with those. The last couple of years, we've seen a lot of activity in terms of residential lots coming online and being platted. This year started out with quite a few, but it's slowed down a little bit since then. And so you can see we're sitting at about 48 cases. The number of subdivision lots in the bar chart down there, we're at 1,607, which is not, considering that we're more than halfway through the year, we would hope to be just a little bit ahead of that, but it's not too bad in terms of overall. And then the split in terms of subdivision cases, city and county, of course, the county is quite high on that one because we see a lot of subdivisions get platted in the county and then later on annexed in. So nothing unusual on that portion. In terms of how many cases we estimate we'll have by the end of the year, on page 5, we estimate that we'll have somewhere in the ballpark of about 70, 75 cases by the end of the year. But if you look at the chart on the bottom of page 5, you'll see that we had it's again very spiky. In about the middle of the year, middle of the spring, I would say, we had a point where we were very low for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different meetings, maybe 6 meetings there, and then shot up immediately after that. Right now, it looks like we're entering a little bit of a lull period as well, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if we see a lot more plats coming in at the end of the year as developers anticipate development the next year and are trying to get stuff in order for that. On the next page, on page 6, we've got a new feature for this report, and that is administrative adjustments. And Raquel, you did the hard work of putting this one together, so I'm wondering, do you want to take just a couple minutes and speak real quick on what this is showing?
Sure, I'll talk about it for just a second. So at the top, I've defined quickly the different case types on how we divide out administrative adjustments. And then in the chart, you can see the total count of and divided out by those different case types for the past 3 years that we've been doing administrative adjustments. So 2025 is the green bar across, so all the bars are the different years, and they're kind of coupled next to each other by case type. And then all the way to the right side of the bar chart is the totals. So you can see in 2024, there was a total of 108 administrative adjustments. And so far in 2025, we've had 68 administrative adjustments. So we're probably looking like we're going to surpass 108 this year.
Thank you very much, and thanks for putting this together. So just for everyone's reminder, this is coming to you as in response to a request to staff to provide this information. This is the first, or really I think the second time that we've put this data together. I think one thing that we can look at for the next time is providing it maybe in a monthly kind of increment, similar to how we track some of the other case numbers. And then I'd also like to see if we can get you some more detail about specifically what it's concerning. Is it setbacks? Is it parking? Is it building height? Whatever the element might be. And so we'll continue to play around with the data. And also just a quick note that administrative adjustments are those things that, as it indicates, these are things that are adjusted administratively, so they are things that don't come to the MAPC. And I think that's what prompted the question. And I think it's a good question about, hey, we'd like to know more about what exactly is getting approved by staff.
Well, to be honest with you, Scott, I think this is exactly what we were looking for.
Go ahead.
On it. So thank you. Thank you for putting the chart together. Appreciate that.
And just a few more notes about the report overall then. On page 7, our staffing levels, we're holding pretty steady. We've got the one position in advanced plans that remains frozen. And because advanced plans division is so small, it accounts for 25%. So that's why you see that large pie chart there, a portion there out of the pie chart. Zoning staffing, that's actually zoning enforcement. And for that one, we've got a part-time position, and that's has not been filled yet. So we continue to work on that one. And that's for the enforcement of the short-term rentals in the city of Wichita. On page 8 is our website hits. If you look at July, you can see that it was case search, MAPD main page, our maps, codes and regulations and enforcement. And these, if you look at July, June, May, these are our fairly standard ones. And it's kind of interesting because we've not been tracking these before this year. So it gives us we're getting more of a complete picture about the activity on the website. So it appears that these are our typical ones that are the top ones, but that every once in a while we'll have an advanced plans topic or a special topic that will crack that top 5, as you did with College Hill. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Midtown Plan and other projects as they advance through the years and if they get more attention from month to month. Those are kind of our standard stuff. From there, I'll just highlight some of the activity of where we are with the different projects. And these are mostly advanced plans division projects. So Justin, if there's anything I missed, feel free to jump in. I'll just do a quick overview. Short-term rentals in the city, where we are is we're continuing to work on hiring and monitoring implementation. JR and the crew at zoning enforcement are the ones who are largely leading that. So the activity has been pretty steady, I would say, so far. We're still seeing the market kind of sort out in terms of how many we have overall, but fairly steady, and we're not seeing a big influx of new zoning cases for those. On page 10, we've got short-term rentals in Sedgwick County. So the county has been interested in this. They have, I believe, a recommendation from you all on this one, and they are there's been discussions about them considering it at a staff meeting, which is their workshop. Tentatively, they have one scheduled for next week. We're waiting for confirmation on that, and once we receive that, we will send out an email to you all to invite you to attend. But I believe that next Tuesday morning, they will be discussing the recommendation that's coming to them. So please be aware, keep an eye out for that one. The next one on page 11 is a solar energy conversion systems. There's no updates on this one yet. We're still looking for the city of Wichita to see if they're comfortable adopting the same amendments to the zoning code that the county adopted. So looking to see if there'll be any action on that one by the end of the year. So we'll stay tuned. Public notifications on page 12. I believe that, this is scheduled to come to you all on September 11th, so we should have that to you for next month. On page 13, development signs in Sedgwick County. We're working on implementing that, and one of the changes to this is that it requires an affidavit to be signed by the applicant or their agent indicating that the signs were installed. This is something that came about after discussions with county legal about what could help in case there's any disputes in the future. So we're in the process of getting that implemented. We have the affidavits. They are available, is my understanding. So if you hear anything from applicants about that, that's likely the biggest change there. On page 14, event centers in the county. This is another topic that we anticipate would be covered in a staff meeting at the county. So hopefully this will be something that will be discussed next week. On page 15, the College Hill Neighborhood Plan, some pretty exciting news. I'll turn it over to Justin to update you on that one.
Thank you, Scott. So the College Hill Neighborhood Plan was, approved by the Board of County Commissioners on the consent agenda yesterday. So the College Hill Neighborhood Plan has officially been approved, which is very exciting. We are working with the existing steering committee members on the overlay portion of the plan. So this won't be the last time you're hearing about College Hill, but maybe for a little bit as we kind of reconvene to work on the overlay portion of the plan.
And lots of hours, lots of work on that one. So thank you everyone for your hard work on that one. On page 17, we've got parking and zoning as an update to it's actually a consideration about should there be any updates to the zoning code. We're looking at forming a steering committee to undertake that project. The same is true for page 18 on the comprehensive plan. We would have the same steering committee for that one. And I believe we were working with the clerk's office at the city to get that application form posted. I'm not sure if it is currently live, not yet. Well, hopefully we'll have that posted and up and running by early next week so that we can start accepting applications. We'll send out emails when that is available. And if you could help spread the word so that folks are interested and can apply for that, that would be fantastic. On page 19, we've got daycares and zoning. And so that is coming to the full MAPC this afternoon. So, and with that, that's all the topics I've got here. We'll stand for any questions.
Yes, Commissioner McKay.
Scott, in the reports, do we have the different categories? We used to put out the housing trend. Oh, you remember? It kind of told us so many single families, so many duplexes, so many fourplexes, most commercial.
Yeah. We do not, but we don't produce that anymore, and we have. So it's a missing piece of data. But what I'm more than happy to do is we could have the appraiser's office come and also MABCD, if you'd like, and come to the advanced plans and provide a presentation about what types of housing development they're seeing and what types of activity.
If you do that, that's fine. But I just kind of like to have an idea of a trend of what because for the last 4 or 5 years, there's been a lot of duplexes.
Yeah, I think that would be beneficial for staff as well. So maybe I'll look to the chairperson. You don't have to commit now, but in the future, if you're comfortable with that, perhaps we could do an item where we would have the appraiser, MABCD, and perhaps even Representative Awaba come and provide information about what's happening out in the field in terms of development. Maybe perhaps even, who is the professor from WSU that we had come?
Professor Guo.
No, I think there was another one too with the real estate. Huh? Yes, Longhofer. That's right. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
So something to think about.
Well, I'm just, you know, we're advanced plans and I know it shows up on the plat what's going to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
And regardless, you know, and if it's a CUP or what, you know, just
Yeah.
let it keep us a little bit informed of where we're going and what's happening.
Yeah, we've got access to the data about lots that have been platted. We can also compare that with the zoning, but unfortunately, that's where our window kind of stops because we don't really know what actually gets constructed. We can tell you what's permitted, and that's where I think MABCD can come in with the building permits about what's actually getting constructed.
Scott, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is there a deadline to approve the capital improvement plan program?
There is, yes, sir.
So even though we have a huge agenda today, there's no way to defer that.
Unfortunately, I don't believe so.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, by state statute, well, no, it's because they're trying to take it at the same time as they do the budget. So I need to correct myself. There's a deadline for the budget to be approved. There's not a deadline for the CIP to be approved. However, in the process that the city's been doing for the last few years and the county currently does, they like to keep those coupled together and take them at the same time.
So we better move fast.
Well, I would defer to Mark Manning or whoever will present from finance, but that's my understanding.
I mean, move fast through the 13 items we have.
Hopefully, we'll see how many of them are controversial. We'll see.
Commissioner Warren, did you have any questions?
Going back to the administrative adjustments, what's the difference between denied and void?
I believe, I'm not sure, but I'll take a stab at it. Raquel, you can correct me, but sometimes occasionally we get some that come in and then they withdraw their application because for whatever, maybe they need something more intensive like a zone change in order to accomplish what they're looking for.
Any additional questions? If not, Scott, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any public comments? Seeing no public, there's no comments. Is there any additional? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you back there. Is there any other additional business?
No, sir.
Excuse me, did you all, I can't see sitting in the back. Did you have any comments you would like to make to the?
No, I don't.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. There's no other business. Our next meeting would be Tuesday, September the 11th, 10 a.m. Hope to see everybody there, just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.